Hi, and welcome to Parapopulous. This is Iris, and we're here all because of a Tumblr post. So eventually, I'm sure, we're going to get some intro music or some sort of interruption thingy going on there. But for now, we're very basic, and you're stuck with me. So welcome to the podcast. This is our first initial go. And what we're going to be doing is going over the blog posts and chatting with them a little bit and getting possibly a little more in depth, maybe a little bit more able to express things. And I hope you guys will enjoy it and you'll be back for more. The original blog post link will be put up in the description and you'll be able to see any pictures that go with it right there. So without further ado, let's jump into it, shall we? So this all started one day. I was looking through a news feed and this picture caught my eye. This woman on a rock. No big deal, right? A little grainy, a little gray toned, but still no big deal. Except she's on Mars. Okay, wait, no, people aren't supposed to be on Mars. So what's going on? Hoax? Trick of the eye? I mean, do we know? We really don't. But, I mean, it looks like a lady standing on a rock. Now, I mean, there are lots of other weird pictures of stuff on Mars. I mean, there are lizards and faces and pyramids and... Oh, the other picture, which I have up there, which is... people are describing as a Bigfoot, but I mean, it could be a lady with a long skirt. So, I mean, specifically we're going to deal with the gray-toned lady and the Bigfoot, possibly lady in a skirt picture. The rest of it, I'm not ignoring it, but I mean that's literally what this blog post deals with. So I mean we won't stray off too far. Knowing me, we're going to be down the beaten path and around the corner and drowning in the lake, but I mean we'll get there. So trick of the eye, probably, but I mean here's where you're going to have to reach. If you believe in the possibility of ghosts and spirits, or you just flat out believe in ghosts and spirits here on Earth, why not somewhere else? This isn't our solar system, so chemical-wise, everything is the same. So if we have the possibility of it here, why not up there? Okay, nobody's lived there. It's a dead planet, nothing's there. Okay, but wait, it wasn't always dead. People say, scientists even, say that there was water there because they can find it underground, they can see the way the trails have been left, from lakes and rivers and the way it's carved out the rocks and all that. So, if at some point in Mars's history, there was water, there might have been plants, there might have been people. Get where I'm going? What if this is just like a ghost on Earth? This is just some poor soul trapped reenacting that moment in time. Maybe not like a tape. I mean, there's a possibility it's just the energy there and every so often the right things trigger and it just replays and replays and replays, which is entirely possible. It could be a ghost. This could be an actual active haunting where this person is literally trapped there and they don't realize the planet's gone because, I mean, they're dead. It's not like they need oxygen to breathe or anything. I know, it's a reach. But if the physics are the same, and it happens here on Earth, why couldn't it happen there? We really don't know enough about Mars. We don't know if there was a civilization, if there was a possibility of a civilization because it was stable for long enough. But we're going to go on that little act of wonder. You know the act of wonder that you went on when you were a kid and you had this great imagination, your mind was open to all sorts of things? That's the kind of thing we're going to go on this blog. I'm not saying things are yes or things are no, because I think there's a gray area, much like this picture. And I think we're far better off if we can open our minds a little bit to possibilities. I get that you have your boundaries. I get that you have your lines in the sand. I get that you have but this is not scientifically possible. But what I'm telling to you, what if it is? What if this is possible? What if it's possible on Earth? What if it's possible that it's on Mars? Okay, maybe, you know what? There are a couple other possibilities. It's a trick of the light. Great. Okay, you know what? I got you. I don't know how any of this stuff works. We see it, we don't. People say, well, it was a camera angle, it was a sun reflection. Okay, truly great possibility. But what if this was actually the right energy, the right time, and boom, we get a recreation. We get a haunting. We get a ghost. We get a taped thing that just keeps replaying at a certain moment because it was, the 12th of July, and it always happens on the 12th of July at, 7 o'clock. What if there are other dimensions? So we're not actually seeing a ghost, but we're seeing somebody from another dimension, and the dimensional things just happen across at the right time and the right point, and we can actually see something. And then that explains why it's not there when we look again. Well, we've got one more possibility. Maybe they're just really good hiders, and they pop up every now and then just to photobomb the satellites. Just to kind of go, hey, this will keep them looking, because totally they're not expecting this. I'm not really leaning towards that one, by the way. But I mean, let's just totally keep our minds open. So, other than somebody retouching a picture, what possibilities do we have? I, for one, prefer the fun possibility. I prefer the what if possibility. Because let's face it, how amazing, okay, maybe not amazing, how amazing for us is it that would be a ghost, that would be haunting, and we would see it. I mean, it would totally suck for them because, number one, look at Mars. I mean, there's nothing there now, and obviously their civilization is gone, or, I mean, maybe they've gone underground, and like I said, this is totally a photobomb. But, I mean, if we're all energy, and your energy goes somewhere, or stays somewhere, or maybe gets confused and runs around the block 70 million times, and then you realize, oh, I missed my bus. Isn't that a possibility? I mean, if you've even taken the time to kind of stop and try this podcast out, this must slightly intrigue you. So I don't think I'm having necessarily a hard argument in that. But I know that this community is very divided. And I honestly don't think until one of us sets foot on Mars, we'll ever actually be able to prove it. And I mean, let's face it, even if we do, we still can't prove it here on Earth. I mean, we all have our experiences. There is some photographic evidence, some EVPs, and, all that good stuff. But I mean, doesn't it come down to belief and what gets you through the night? And I mean, honestly, if this isn't hurting anybody, what's the harm in it? What's the harm in entertaining the possibility that maybe at some point there was that civilization there? And, I mean, kind of horrible for them. I mean, if they've turned into, rock creatures because they, fossilized because of some horrible atomic or natural disaster. They're fossilized there. Because some of them do look like rocks. And, I mean, the alligator one. But, I mean, I said we weren't going to go there. But it happens. But how horrible if that was actually the case. But how wonderful to know that even though civilization died off there, it continued on somewhere else. So, with looking at what we're doing to ourselves right now, isn't it kind of reassuring to know that maybe one day somebody will pop by Earth and see kind of something, the same thing, and they'll realize, hey, you know what? Somebody actually might have been there at some point. Because, I mean, it comes down to possibilities and history and what if? So thank you for joining us for our first podcast. It's really short. I wanted to sort of enter into that initial discussion with you guys. Kind of let you guys get a feel for where things are going. There's a little bit of twisted sense of humor that'll be here. Maybe the occasional F-bomb. I'll try to keep it as clean as I can and warn you ahead of time if they happen. I hope you'll be back for more. If you like what you hear, go read the original entry on parapopulous.wordpress.com. Like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Parapopulous, and find us on Twitter @Parapopulous. Thanks once again for tuning in. We'll be back next Monday with more.